Radio frequency identification is the use of radio waves to read and capture information stored on a tag attached to an object. A tag can be read from up to several feet away and doesn't need to be within direct line of sight of the reader to be tracked. The fundamental purpose of the technology is to transmit the identity of an object. It can be similar to a unique serial number, but using radio waves. Radio frequency has come a long way from its first application of identifying airplanes as friends in the Second World War. Not only does the technology continue to improve year over year, but the cost of implementing and using the system continues to decrease, making more efficient. Radio frequency tags are small and can be attached to or incorporated into a product, animal, or person. They contain antennas to allow them to receive and respond the radio frequency requirement from a radio frequency emitter. Passive levels don't require internal power, while active levels do. One of the advantages of using radio frequency is that, for example, instead of freight, they don't require direct vision between emitter and the receiver. The first component is a transponder. It is composed of an antenna, a radio transducer, and an encapsulated material or chip. The purpose of the antenna is to allow the chip, which contains the information, to transmit the tags identifying information. There are several types of tags. The chip has an internal memory with a capacity that depends on the model and varies from a dozen bytes. Reader. When it fetches a signal from a tag which contains the tag's identifying information, it extracts the information and passes into the data processing subsystem. It's going to provide process means and data storage. There are three types of radio frequency tags. The first one is the passive tags. They don't have any power supply. They used to get their power from their incoming radio waves from the readers, while active tags have a power source for their internal circuitry and for sending the response to the reader also. It uses its now power supply. In the case of semi-passive tags, they have a power supply for internal circuitry, but for sending the response, it relies on the radio waves received from the reader. The way of operating radio frequency system is simple. The tag, which contains the identification data of the object to which is attached, generates a radio frequency signal with said data. This signal can be captured by a reader, which is responsible for reading the information and passing it to digital format to the specific application that uses radio frequency identification. Readers may petition or question by radio frequency to the chip that integrates radio frequency brads. They are going to emit an answer when they are receiving signals from the reader, allowing identification with great security and precision in real time. Passive levels do not require internal power, while active levels do. There are some benefits of using radio frequency identification. First, track your assets effectively. Second, reduce time holding onto stock. It can be using a radio frequency identification or using a barcode. Third, monitor the status and condition of a product in the supply chain. How radio frequency identification is integrated into the supply chain. The track reading granted detects and the control center automatically receives an initial inventory of materials in transport. The pallet is transferred to the conveyor belt and the boxes are inserted into it, simulating a production chain. Radiofrequency identification offers existing possibility. It solves some of the biggest problems in supply chain management. Collecting, managing, and analyzing large sums of data, keeping lower cost of flow, optimizing operational cost, using working capital effectively. Radiofrequency identification helps to lower costs by providing better control of stocks or assets. They can help keep track of business assets such as test equipment, transport packing, computing technology, and other portable devices. Radiofrequency identification is already in use in multiple industries and for various purposes. The device in your car that lets you zoom by in the fast lane at a toll booth while deducting a dollar amount from your account is an example of the technology in everyday use. Another instance of the technology includes implanting a microchip in your pet's neck to allow you to locate if he or she goes missing. Using radiofrequency identification is an easy way to track, locate, and update the service and sterilization history of various pieces of medical equipment, such as surgical instruments. Radiofrequency identification can be used in logistics as a part of a managed system. This system makes checking stock levels in their location in a busy warehouse environment easy. Converting paper-based checklists to a digital format takes time and can lead to human error. Maintenance records can be stored on a radiofrequency identification mobile readers instead, leading to a more efficient maintenance process.